I honestly think that you're in the worst position to be in because before you heard about self-improvement and you were watching videos like this, you had this level of ignorance in your bad habits that you kind of knew that they were bad, but you didn't really think about them day to day. You were just like your friends who just play video games and don't think about the consequences. But then you became aware of how negative that would be for the long term if you kept up those long bad habits of playing video games, watching porn, junk food, Netflix, all stuff like this that you know is just kind of pleasurable and fun right now, but it makes your life worse in the long run, especially if you get addicted to those things. Previously, you didn't really realize how bad these things were, so you could just enjoy them. But now you're probably finding that you still do some of these bad habits, but you can't even enjoy them fully because you're always aware of the consequences of your actions. And this honestly messed me up. When I think about this period of my life that I'm about to tell you, I can't even help but feel ashamed. During early 2020, in the beginning of the COVID lockdown, it was the worst moment of my life. I did a bunch of bad habits, but I wasn't really clued up on the negative consequences. I was just a young guy playing video games, messing around, and wasting time and scrolling on my phone, porn, all this stuff. But, that's just what I do, and that's what everyone does. But early 2021 was when I actually started watching self-improvement content, and it plagued me with the new awareness. It gave me a slap of reality on how bad I was treating myself, but it also gave me hope for an improved life. I remember around that period is when dopamine detoxing first took off, and a lot of the big self-improvement YouTubers at the time made videos on them, and they got really, really viral, and everyone started to look into dopamine detoxing. How to do the hard things regardless of your feelings, how to trick your brain into liking doing hard things. This niche took off, and I remember desperately needing to learn this. I was waking up and playing video games all day, and I remember watching this video of people saying, yeah, you have to control your dopamine, you have to stop these bad habits. And I swear I was watching these videos with like Cheeto dust fingers and fries next to me, and I'd probably go back to playing video games after watching that video. And every single day I had this desperate need to change, but I kept on finding myself gravitating to the same bad habits. I didn't want to do those anymore. It was just who I was. It was just a thing that I was supposed to do. I'd wake up and I wasn't supposed to play video games. Video games are bad dopamine, and I don't want to smoke anymore. But it feels like quitting these habits like a full-time job. You probably know this if you're trying to quit a bad habit, like one that you actually enjoy. It feels like a full-time job and something you have to think about literally 24/7. It's like a constant swim upstream. It also gives you this sense of nervousness, like, oh, I hope I don't relapse today. No, 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 I can't break my streak. I'm not gonna watch porn today. But then you can't help but just go a bit unconscious and start typing in porno or moving your cursor to the video game. And it feels a bit unnatural, doesn't it? It's a natural thing to keep indulging in those bad habits. That's a normal thing. Imagine if you're unconscious all day, but you're still able to move around and stuff. You would just instinctively go and do those bad habits, wouldn't you? It's somewhat unnatural to not do those things that we have been doing for so long. Now, I want to give you this analogy that helped me and a bunch of people I helped quit their bad habits. Imagine this right now. What you have been doing to try and stop your bad habits, downloading a porn blocker, uninstalling the video game, throwing away the junk food. These actions are you swimming upstream, fighting the current, but eventually you get too tired and you follow the natural downstream of the current. You can't fight the current forever. That's unnatural. This is what we have been doing all this time. It feels unnatural to swim upwards, but the constant pressure of the current will always make us go back downstream. So we need to change the direction of the stream. We need to stop swimming upstream with these website blockers, this idea of throwing out the junk food, because we have tried so many times. Think about it. Haven't most people tried to lose weight? Haven't most people want to build a good body, especially in the new year? Gym goers know what I'm talking about because there's this huge spike of people in the gym after the New Year's, but then the people slowly fizzle out as the year progresses. 95% of people don't make progress in their fitness journey. They go right back to the starting point. The stream pushes them all the way back. So the answer is clear with this analogy. We don't need to swim upstream faster. We need to move the entire stream and change the direction of the current. How can we do that? How can we change our starting point? How can we change which way the river flows? Well, it's not the physical world around us, it's mental. And once you understand this, you'll be shocked at how easy and fast this was. What we need to do is change your starting point. Don't think of yourself as a fat man, because if you see yourself as a fat man, you might go on a run, do some dieting, try to make some progress, but then you go back downstream because he's still a fat man at the end of the day. It's this we have to change, your identity, your self-image. This video will get way more views if I linked you some website blockers, but if it was that simple, everyone would have one and everyone would literally be successful and no one would watch porn, would they? But it's not that simple because that isn't the issue. There are tons of people in this world who don't have porn blockers or who didn't install their video games, who never indulge in that stuff anyway. There are tons of people who can walk past a snack aisle in the supermarket with ease. I'm one of those people now, and that is me boasting, because one of my greatest achievements is being able to control my diet, because in the past, I had no control whatsoever. I could have my family eat Popeyes right in front of me, and it does nothing to me. I can't tell you how proud I am for that. I've said before how I played Minecraft, Valorant, and Fortnite for 12 hours a day, how I ate an entire tub of ice cream first thing in the morning. I stayed up all night waiting for this new Fortnite season, and I tried to quit. I tried to uninstall. I tried to diet and install porn blockers, but then since early 2021, I've never played a single video game again. I never binge ate again. Do you know how I did that? I discovered something that changed my life: mental health. The concept of improving your mind. I've always heard about mental health before like this in school and people telling men to open up about their feelings and show emotions and open up. And eventually I realized, oh yeah, my mental health is really bad. Took a test recommended to me by Hanta, and my depression and anxiety score were really high. If you want to do that, it's called the NHS test or something. And it was then when I realized that all my problems, all my bad habits came down to depression and anxiety. Because when you have these mental health problems in your mind, of course you're more likely to seek comfort in porn. If you're having negative thoughts, of course you want to play video games because that's probably the most fun, stimulating thing you can do that saves you from reality and the harsh truths of this world. And sometimes when you do feel the motivation to go and penetrate the real world and say, yeah, I'm gonna lose some weight, I'm gonna go quit video games and porn, you make some progress, but you snap back because we always go back to our baseline, which is our identity, our self-image, and mental health. So remember how we've spoken before about the dopamine detox, and when people started talking about it around March 2021, I realized that I was going to go hard on dopamine detox. I started to see myself as a hard, disciplined man on a dopamine detox. Started to see how I would appear in the eyes of other people. And a lot of people say to not care about what other people think, but for me, it genuinely saved my life. I started to see myself as a disciplined man on a dopamine detox, and at that time, every single YouTuber was clickbaiting and telling you that you can change in 24 hours, and I immediately knew that that was bullshit. You can't change in 24 hours, but what I did know was that a dopamine detox would save your life, but not only for 24 hours or a week. But to say, this is my life now. I saw myself as a military style disciplined guy, and so I wrote down a timetable where I woke up at 6:15 a.m. every single day to this very day, and I'd hit the gym, then come home and do 8 hours of work when I wasn't even used to doing 30 minutes of deep work, and I'd eat totally clean, and I meditated, journaled, and I started to see all these benefits of doing this, and I got the sense of pride and excitement about the potential that I had. I started to change who I was. I started to change how I saw myself. I was no longer this fat video gamer. I started to see myself as a military style, disciplined guy on a dopamine detox that other people respected. It's not like I changed my life and then I saw myself as a disciplined person, but I started to see myself as that person first, and then I started to do those things. I flipped the whole river and swam with the current. It was my identity, my self image, and how I saw myself that changed everything for me. Instead of installing your website blockers, change your identity. So, right here, right now, ask yourself this: how do I see myself? What kind of person am I? Be honest and genuinely think about your habits, especially the bad ones. Think about what you want to improve on and then make a summary about what you see in your mind. A realistic summary. Most likely, if you're watching videos like this, your summary you built up is going to be kind of negative. If you were an amazing positive guy, you probably wouldn't be watching a video like this, would you? So you probably have a negative perception of yourself. Maybe you see yourself as a loser. Maybe a guy who's struggling to get girls. The guy who's addicted to video games and porn. But you know what's interesting? You may be addicted to video games, not because you've been playing for so long and you built up an addiction, but because you see yourself as a video gamer. It may not have been our actions that actually caused us to get here. It may actually have been our identity, our self-image. Most people think that all you need to do is take action, but a guy who sees himself as a fat man who takes action, maybe he'll take action for a week and he'll lose 2 pounds, but 2 pounds isn't enough. He doesn't look or feel different. He still sees himself as a fat man. And so, what is a guy who actually believes that he is fat but going to eventually do that lines up with his self image? well, he's gonna eat that junk food. Within a week, he cannot sustain the healthy lifestyle he wants. But what if the same guy who sees himself as a fat man closes his eyes every single day for 5 minutes and starts to visualize his body transformation and his athleticism improve to the point where he no longer saw himself as a fat man, but rather an athlete? So now what if that same guy who's 300 pounds at 40% body fat started to tell himself that he's an athlete? What if he surrounded himself with athletes and consumed content of the athletes? Like, yep, I'm just like that guy. And that athlete wakes up and goes for a run every morning. Okay, I'm gonna wake up and go for a run because that's what athletes do, and I'm an athlete, and athletes run. What if he started to change his identity first in this illusionary, delusional sort of way? He's fat. He's 300 pounds, 40% body fat. He's genuinely fat. Well, if he started to actually see himself as an athlete, he probably would make way more progress than he's ever done before. And what about you? What if in a silly way, you, just like that guy, you close your eyes and every single day you see yourself as a high value man, a guy who attracts all the girls? What if you genuinely start to believe that you were that type of guy and you start to form this very strong belief like, yep, yes I am. I'm a Chad, I'm a Chad, I'm a Chad. I'm the guy who gets a lot of girls. I have so many hoes on my dick. And so you start to research other high value men and you see the way they talk, dress, and talk to girls. You follow them on Instagram and they are on a vacation with girls around them. And you realize this is how a Chad posts. And this sounds really cringe, but just what if you did this? You didn't tell anybody about your motives. What if you did this? What if you stopped seeing yourself as that loser who struggled to get girls and instead start to pretend that you are a Chad and the girl you have a crush on actually likes you but is too nervous to talk to you? What if you actually started thinking positive thoughts? Because I can tell you from experience that is one of the strongest things you can ever do in your life. Imagine that girl you have a crush on and destroy that thought of you having a crush on her, and imagine change that to, yeah, she has a crush on me, she's just too shy, and I promise that that is the best relationship advice you will ever get in your life. And if you plant that thought into your mind, even if you're ugly as fuck, if you have a slightly better chance of attracting her because you have the right mindset. Don't think that this is some law of attraction bullshit. You have a lot of work to do. Just because you think you're jacked, you won't become jacked. But your beliefs, your identity, and your self-image leads to consistent long-term action that causes you to change. At 14, I started to see myself as this jack guy, and so I started to put in the work for that, and it started to become true. Interestingly, the results I received from life changed because I believed I was that guy. You've been swimming upstream for so long. You know too many people swimming upstream, and eventually you get tired and you go back down. Okay, let's try again. Maybe another diet like carnivore or keto will work. Ah, back down. Okay, this is my year. I'm going to get serious and reach all my fitness goals. Ah, back down. Change this. Change the way you see yourself and your self-image. And the two ways to do that is through visualizations and affirmations. Close your eyes and keep on telling yourself that you are the person who you want to be. I close my eyes now and tell yourself that I'm a successful YouTuber. I have a million subscribers and I help thousands of men. I'm so disciplined I keep posting every single week. So what if I just started to imagine, what if I created this mental movie of myself where I'm in Dubai and I get to meet all the men that I helped? We all get together, we all laugh and talk and help each other out. And it feels good to be a winner. I feel the feeling of what it is like to be there right now, having accomplished this. And every single time you do one of these visualizations, it sounds silly. I've told you mine, and it's cringe as fuck. So don't tell anybody you are doing this, because you will get flamed, and people will make fun of you. But the truth is, it works. I wouldn't just randomly go up to a stranger and tell him my visualizations. I'm just telling you, so you have an example to go off on. So don't tell anyone. And every single morning for 5 minutes, think about the most ideal scenario for you. The grade that you want in school, the money from your business, the physique that you want, the woman that you want, the cars that you want. What if you see the moments of success? Not the moment of desire, but the moment of success. You don't see a girl you have a crush on. No, 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 no. You see that girl with a smile on her face handing back your phone with her number in it. You see your exam results and exactly what you want. You see the acceptance letter to the university that you want. Why don't you just enjoy the feeling of being a winner just 5 times a day, and you will undeniably find that it will creep into your day-to-day life, and you will start to act and believe exactly like that guy. This is the greatest long-term strategy for destroying bad habits and skyrocketing the good. Click and watch this video right now.